This is basically Proleukin, which was used in renal cell carcinoma and metastatic melanoma before targeted therapy was a thing. These were like some of the first cytokine. IL-2 was one of the first cytokines cloned, and it just kicks up an immune shitstorm. Or is it? Yeah, it sort of does a weird immune reprogramming, and you get this very, very modest effect in renal cell where you get like this 5% response rate or something. It was like one of the worst drugs ever made, but it was kind of the advent of biotech, so it was kind of neat. And some people still believe that all the secrets are in IL-2, but I don't know. That's kind of BS. Immune isn't quite imploding yet. We'll get the data in any day now, but it's just thinly traded after hours. It's like ping pong with 100 shares back and forth. It's not a... No call. Okay, so doing a call, no call would have been very odd. So a call, I mean, it's a highly anticipated event, so it's almost like a call is going to happen either way, but we've seen biological activity with this drug. That's not the question. The question is it good enough? Let me see here. Oh, they have an alopecia study too. This is 400 patients. This is like a phase 3. I mean, that's extremely definitive. They have U.S. sites? Oh, good. Phew. So 3 doses. Ow. Every 2 weeks. So is there a market for a weaker Rinvoq or a weaker Dupixent? And here the placebo low dose, the dose response is a little weird and placebo response is a little weird. It's just not that potent. But and nobody really fails JAK inhibitors or fails Dupixent. Dupixent's just very expensive, but it kind of works really well. JAK inhibitors have safety questions. IL-2 has safety questions. Yeah, I don't know. It's the major question is, do you have the activation energy to get over doing a full phase 3 program to make like a so-so autoimmune drug? To me, that's like, I don't know. If it were me in big pharma, I would just say, you know what, they're greener pastures. I don't know. I don't think so, Alfonso, because what I think let's say you're the CEO of Pfizer, you're the CEO of J&J or Lilly or whatever, and you say, do I want to spend 200 some odd $1 million doing a phase 3 or several phase 3s for a crowded disease state? Yeah. I mean, Dupixent's pretty safe. So I just don't really. I don't see the place that you can. Do you want to be third line atopic dermatitis? I mean, there are other therapies for eczema as well. There's let's see. I mean, there's topicals, including topical JAK. Yeah, I just don't know that you want to be sandwiched in this market. But the reality is, I mean, even if you sell 200 million, you have a reason to live here. There are going to be docs that don't mind it. You still have safety profile questions. It's tempting. The risk reward is quite good. I mean, if the data is clean, you get a 10x. If it's not, what are you looking at? 30% decline? If you put a gun to my head and said you have to do something right now, I'd probably buy a little bit, just because if there was a complete flop, they wouldn't be doing a call. But I also wouldn't put too much stock in the call, as William, you said. No, I agree that, as a doc, I would be giving Dupixent first. And who the hell doesn't respond to Dupixent? But if Dupixent's bad on formulary, maybe you can give this guy. But there's new eczema drugs coming out as well that may be even more effective. Right? We're looking at EASI 90 or EASI 100 in some cases. So I don't think you want to be going backwards on efficacy. That usually doesn't portend well. Yeah, this one is a really tough one. I just, if you want to be like Mr. Trader, that's one thing. But if you're like, a really safe assumption is like, because of our guest, I always joke, but it's kind of like between the difference between bullet and classical. It's like, and this isn't the perfect analogy, but there's kind of this perception in trading or investing that, let's say you are managing a fund the size of Baker Brothers or RTW or Perceptive or whatever. You can't dart in and out of $50 million of the stock. You're playing classical. But if you have an account that's $1 million or something like that, you can go in and out of this pretty quickly, and you could almost game the game. And again, not a perfect analogy, but it sort of applies, I think, where you have like this, what is the reaction going to be? I'm sitting here kind of having my drug CEO hat on and my Baker Brothers institutional hedge fund kind of hat on, where it's like, no, I need to live and die by whether people are going to use this drug 6 years from now. But in reality, that doesn't really matter, does it? I mean, what matters is this a drug that's going to work or not? And so like Compass had data that's arguably, Compass has to get duration data, but it's data that, so the analogy doesn't work great, but like the Compass data is like, was good data. And I'm sitting there saying, I wouldn't mind selling this drug, 2 years from now or 3 years from now after FDA approval. But the market the market kind of like had the opposite reaction than you would have expected. So like the market should have been exuberant about meeting a primary endpoint in a situation where they could have easily failed. The Compass situation is a little bit, it's not exactly analogous, but yeah, I feel like there's what's going on here. The Nectar expectations are so squashed. The market cap is still, below cash. It doesn't really help you that much. It can and will go to 6 if the data is really bad, but we know that the data is not going to be god awful, but it could still be bad like Compass, where people say what we're talking about right now, which is who wants to be in this weird sandwich. Again, maybe Novartis or maybe GSK says, I wouldn't mind selling a second place behind Dupixent or Rinvoq. It's easy to counter detail Rinvoq. I mean, JAK inhibitors are fucking extremely dangerous. But yeah, so like, could I get this to 300 in revenue or 400 in revenue with just the profile they already announced? Probably. In which case, I mean, you have to factor in dilution, but the stock actually could be pretty exciting. I'm trying to think of other analogies to this. Like, what's a good one actually is that a company Apellis, but there's others. Yeah, I'd probably buy it.